It's a good idea, but it's got a problem. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm doing a rather different type of a video. I'm not going to be talking about cars or anything cars related. I'm going to be talking about video equipment. I am going to just get to the point, straight to the point, and I'm going to show you this device. And why I'm making this video. This is something that is rather clever or smart, depending what country you're from. It's a good idea. A device that fixes a couple of issues or an issue on certain cameras, but this device has a problem. So in a nutshell, if you have a camera, this kind of a camera, or any kind of a camera that is not equipped with an active cooling system, in this case I have my Canon R8, which is a good camera, but it is known for its overheating issue. So if you try to create a rather long 4K format video and you're somewhere outside where it's sunny, when the weather is warm in a term really nice and warm, this camera will actually overheat and it will stop recording. It doesn't have anything active as far as cooling goes. It doesn't even have anything passive, unlike, for example, Sigma FP that has vents. So it kind of helps for the air to circulate through the whatever the system that is actually sitting behind the screen. So those cameras, I ran those for extended periods of time, and they get hot, but they don't shut down due to the overheating issue. This thing will turn off, and I have experienced this myself. Active systems, active cooling systems, active cooling, those are just like my FX30 that I'm using to film this. That thing can run and run for hours because it's got a blower or a fan inside of it, and it circulates air over the radiator that's built into it, and it cools whatever electronics, and it never overheats, which is great. But if you have a camera like this, and I mean it's a good camera, I like it a lot. It's really compact, it's a full frame, and I've got this tiny small lens on it, and it's just really compact. Can run around with this camera and do a lot of things. It's much lighter in this combination of a lens and the body, much lighter than even the FX. It's not as small as Sigma FP that I used to have, but it's much better than that camera in a sense, if you're just doing like if you're not a professional, I guess. So this is not a professional type of equipment, but I like it, I use it a lot, and it overheats. So that's the bottom line. So these smart people at a company that's called, I don't know what it is, like Ulanzi, I guess that's what it says on it. Ulanzi, not a pro at foreign languages. So this is a cooling device that they came up with, and it's a nice thing. It's a nice device. It's compact. It's got a blower. Basically, what it is, it's a cooling system, an add-on cooling device. That's what it is. It's got a small blower inside of it. It's all metal construction, really nice, and I like how they made it. I'm into mechanical engineering, so I can actually have some reasonably professional conclusions, I guess, based on my knowledge of mechanical systems and such and so on. It's aluminum. It's not plastic. It's all nicely designed. It, like I said, it's got a blower in it, a fan. It's got a small tiny display, so it turns on. It shows some information. What it shows the battery status. It has 0, 1, and 2. Those are the indicator of the I guess of the fan speed, which is a 0. 0 is a 0. Doesn't The fan stops, doesn't turn. One is a slow speed and two is a high speed. It also has a sensor, temperature readout sensor, and this display actually shows that temperature. The sensor is actually pointing to already the temperature of the device that is attached, that this thing is attached to, and so it's reading exactly the temperature of your camera. This thing has a couple of attachments, and that's where the problem is. So this thing is intended to be attached to the back of your camera. In this case, you have to flip the screen open because you cannot attach it to the screen. This is the back side of the camera. Fuji actually has a factory device that they came up with that is actually that you can attach to the back of a certain number of Fuji cameras. So this is a device that sort of functions in the same way. You attach it to the back side of your, in this case, Canon camera. It fits exactly into the opening or this profile that the screen takes up when it's folded in. Yeah, it fits. And it's supposed to work, right? No. The problem with this thing is the way it mounts or gets attached to your camera. By default, they have these pads, actually 6 of them. I don't have 2 of those on the bottom anymore. 4 on this edge, 2 on this edge. And what they do, they're basically the same type of an attachment that you may use for whatever windshield mounting attachments and such, that basically stick to flat surfaces. And that's where the problem is residing. You have to have a really nice and flat surface to attach these things to, because they work with vacuum action, and for that you have to have a really flat and nice surface. So like my top of the desk or whatever I have here is extremely flat, so this will, I could probably demonstrate this. So you can actually hear, so this thing, this sucker, when I pull it off, it actually makes that noise. So you basically push this thing on, attach it to the back of your camera. In the case of Canon, of this Canon camera, and I guess it's sort of like that with many other cameras, is the texture of the plastic of the backside. This one is not flat enough. Well, no, it's kind of flat enough, but the texture of the material itself it's just rough. If you ever had or held a Canon camera in your hands, you could have noticed that some of these plastics are textured really good. They're rough. I don't know, it's a Canon thing, I guess. In any case, the backside also had a sticker, a warning and such, that I actually had to remove to try to make this work. Besides the texture, it has some numbers that are engraved into the backside and into the plastic. There's some kind of I don't know what that is, some kind of a semicircle. In a nutshell, this thing will never ever stick to this type of a surface. It's just not. If someone has a camera that is different, I don't have anything else to try this on, it will probably stick to the screen of my phone, right? I can actually try and demonstrate this. There it is. That's just one of those suckers. Well, the backside is also as good as... There it is, just 2 of them holding it, and then it comes off. What I really hope to use this for is this Canon camera, but like I said, those things will just never stick to this type of a plastic. I tried. They may hold on for about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I should have tested it properly or better than this, but they don't stay. One solution that I came up with is just using double-sided tape. So what I did, I modified this thing a little bit, slightly. I got 3 pieces of double-sided tape, one on this side and 2 on these corners. So that should have fixed the situation, right? Sort of, it did, but not completely. If I press this with the double-sided tape against the camera, it will stay, right? It will stay for a while. The problem is the double-sided tape. There is no good way of detaching this from the camera if you're using the double-sided tape. This tape, if you don't remove it in time, it will fuse really good to whatever you attach it to, and you will either make this to be a permanent device attached to your camera, or you will have a chance of actually breaking something, because if you try to pull this thing with the double-sided tape off the camera, I don't think this plastic is really thick. It's just, it sounds like there isn't much behind it. Like I imagine it's a fairly thin piece of plastic. If this thing gets fused, or the double-sided tape gets fused pretty good to the camera, I feel like there is a good chance of me breaking the camera and when pulling this thing off. So also you have to reapply the double-sided tape every single time well, not every single time, but it gets dirty, so you have to replace it at some point. So it's either not sticky enough, or it's too sticky, so it's not a good solution. If I tried harder, I could have I guess figured out something else. That's what it's like. The idea is good or great. The execution is good, except for the mounting. That's just not. I wouldn't even give it, like, for the mounting, for the design of the mounting of the attachment. For that idea, I wouldn't give even 2 stars out of 5, because how many cameras would you actually find that have really glassy, glass-like, flat glass-like surface on the back side? Can I attach it to the screen? Yes, I could, but that's just not the way this needs to be or has to be used with the camera. There is no point in trying to cool down the display. So I don't know. And if you are brave enough to make this a permanent, you could probably use hot melt glue, something like that, and attach this to make it sort of almost permanent attachment. If you use a camera that really needs an active cooling and constantly, and if you need that constantly, then that probably is a solution, maybe a solution, but then you cannot really fold the screen back, so you will end up with the screen sticking out. So if you're using this camera on a tripod in a studio type of a situation, and if you really need to keep it cooled down and not shut down due to the overheating issue, and you don't want to spend or cannot spend $5,000 on R5C, which is like 3 times the price of this camera, then yeah, you kind of have to maybe make this a permanently attached thing to your camera, and then just run it on a tripod and charge it and keep the screen this way. I cannot do that because I carry this camera around all the time. It's always in my, not a pocket, but around on the seat of the car or somewhere else. I always grab it and go somewhere, so I cannot keep the screen open like this. It's always folded down. I have a protective film on it, so I never actually fold it, close it with the screen in. In any case, this is my review of this little thing that is probably has a name too. I don't remember what it is. Actually, I wanted to do a review of this when it came in, because I was like thinking, oh wow, that's a really great thing that they came up with that will help to sort of resolve the situation with overheating on R8. R6 is also known, or is it R5 that is known for the overheating problem? I think it was the R5 that was made waves in the news when people figured that it is overheating too much. So in conclusion of this video, good idea, cannot use it. Would I recommend buying it? If it's a yes or no answer, I would say no, because it's just unusable. I don't know, you could think of what else can you think of? Like I said, hot melt glue. You can try running like zip ties around this or something. Rubber bands, probably, if you just take a rubber band, like a rubber band, and just loop it around this way and loop it around this way, or this side, that side, around the camera, and try to, or maybe even crisscross it. Maybe that will work. I have not tried it yet. I should, I guess. It may actually be not a bad idea to try doing that. Then again, like if I'm using this on a tripod, for example, and inside it gets hot, but it doesn't always overheat. The only time when it overheated on me and shut down was when I was outside in direct sunlight and I was doing something outside and the sun was shining onto it, and the thing turned off. R5C, maybe that's the solution, but it's an expensive solution if you plan on using a Canon camera or want to like really stick to it. Maybe it's not a problem for people that don't run these for an extended period of time to make like long duration videos or film for a long period of time. So in any case, that should be it for today's video. You can try, I guess, and come up with your own solutions, or verify that your camera is actually the surface of the back side of your camera is actually smooth enough for this thing to stick to. It's not a light plasticky thing. It's a nice quality device if it worked. That's what if it worked, it would be a perfect, I guess, device. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think this should be it for now, and well, say something in the comment section. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.